probably wouldn't ask me, how do I control my mind when I recite the prayers? You would just recite the prayers, right? So isn't that interesting? That this is the most common question asked. How do I control my mind when I chant japa? And for sure, nobody would ask that question if we just did a class on prayer. Isn't that interesting? You find that interesting? Yeah. So something became very clear is that when we speak of meditation, usually it's thought of as a process. You sit a certain way, maybe even sit in a certain direction, you'll chant a mantra or do pranayam, or you'll focus on one thing like in Buddhist meditation, focus on a candle. It's thought of as a process. But in bhakti, it's not a process as much as it's a relationship. So when we're asking, how do I control my mind? That's like saying, I'm in love with somebody, how do I think of them? That would be a ridiculous question. You know, you would ask the question, how do I think of this person that I'm not even interested in? Because it would be really hard to think of them because you have no relation with them. So if we take japa as a relationship, then the question, how do I control my mind, it changes a little bit. The answer changes and the question changes, because obviously, why would you have difficulty controlling your mind, thinking of the person you're praying to? Right? Like when you look at the deities, you go, well, I was praying for 3 minutes. That was really difficult to control my mind. You just look at the deities, right? And you just stare at them. So that's what japa is. So I want to go more into this idea and help us make sense of it. And first, I'll explain to you some of the challenges I see that devotees face. Anything you're doing, like japa or deity worship or even garlands or cooking, it has two aspects. It has the external, which is how you do it externally. And it has the internal, what do you think internally? So if you're going to learn to cook for the deities, let's say you don't know how to cook what the deities like. So I take you in the kitchen and I say, this is what they like, this is what they don't like, and this is how to cook it, the way they like it, don't cook it this way, they don't like it. That's all external, and you learn that. Right? But at the same time, you know that when you're in Krishna's kitchen, that's actually Radharani's kitchen. And that everything in that kitchen is meant for Krishna's pleasure. And so I have to tell you, when you're cooking for Krishna, you have to see every ingredient, every vegetable, every fruit, every grain, every milk product as belonging to Krishna. It's the only way you can cook. You can't see it as yours. In fact, I don't want to give you any ideas, but Prabhupada said, for a devotee who sees everything as Krishna's, he doesn't have to offer it because it's already offered. He never thought it was his. It was all, everything in this kitchen is yours, Krishna. So you cook it. I cooked it for you. I eat it. So don't get any ideas, but if you're in a rush or something. So that's the internal, right? Okay, what consciousness should I be in? I go into the kitchen when we were young devotees, we would pale obeisances. Early days of the movement, we pale obeisances in the kitchen. We wanted to be in the right consciousness. And so now, as your teacher of how to cook, I also have to teach you how to feel, how to think, what the mood is, right? What is the proper consciousness with which to be in the kitchen and when you're cooking for Krishna, right? Same thing with deity worship. So this is how to wake the deities up. This is how to bathe them. These are the mantras. This is how you do arti. That's all external. You have to learn that because that's what Krishna wants. But then, as your teacher, I say, but this is the internal mood. Right? When you're doing the arti, is the goal to do flashy? Is it like the flashier you are, the better? No, that's a good arti. Right? Make sure you're holding it right. Put your little pinky out like British, hold the bell like that. That we can understand that a perfected arti externally is not a perfected arti, because the real thing is the devotion, right? And we understand this is so fundamental to our philosophy. Patra pushpam param yo me bhakta prachiti. Tadaham bhakta paritam. Twice Krishna uses the word bhakti. Krishnami prayatam. There are actually three, but from one who has devotion, offer with devotion, from one who has devotion, give it to me in devotion, and I'll accept it. So we understand that, right? So you know when you're offering bhoga to the deity, the main ingredient is devotion. It's like the verse is there. So I think this is easy to understand. But when I try to equate this with japa, people say, I don't understand. But Prabhu, I thought you're just supposed to chant and hear and sit straight and pronounce properly. And I'd say, well, you know, it's a prayer, so there's something else going on inside that you should be feeling. And but Prabhu, I can only do one thing. Only I can focus on hearing or focus on praying. I can't do both of it. Why can't you do both? You can cook in devotion. You can offer arti in devotion. You can do so many things in devotion. When it comes to japa, no, I'm like, this doesn't make sense to me. And we have, like, everywhere I go, this problem comes up. Like, well, how do you chant and hear and pray? Because they seem to be like two different universes. But why did anybody have a problem with that when they do arti? Or make a garland or offer bhoga or pray to the deities? How do you expect me to pray in devotion? I have to, like, think of the prayer. I have to repeat the prayer. That's all I can do. You would think. It doesn't make any sense, right? So, Prabhupada said something to resolve this dilemma. I don't know if you've heard this before. Prabhupada said, you should hear yourself chant sincerely. You should hear yourself chant. So hear yourself chant, that's the external, because hear yourself means be present, being sattva guna. You're chanting right now. My little button here. Should print these buttons and then put them on your beadbag here. It says, when I chant, I chant. Right? So, hear the holy name means I'm present to what I'm doing. When I'm chanting, this is what I'm doing. This button's really good if you don't want people to talk to you when you're chanting japa. So, you're chanting Hare Krishna, and someone comes up, Prabhuji, you just go. And they read it when I chant. Oh, okay, sorry. Good button to keep people away from you during japa. So, when we say you should hear, it means be present. Like your husband, you talk to him and he doesn't listen. And you say, you're not present, listen. You could use this on an announcer. Just like you're supposed to hear when you chant, you're supposed to hear when your wife is speaking to you. So for all the guys who don't understand what I just said, we're not married. If you ever get married, after a while, when your wife talks to you, you will like travel around the universe, thinking she got nothing important to say. And you think of, who won the cricket match or something. I was just talking to. So, and we do the same thing with japa. So when we say hear, it means be present to what you're doing. And I'm chanting, so okay, you're chanting. Should I be somewhere else? But Prabhupada said, hear yourself chant sincerely. So sincerely is the internal, right? The external, the internal. So, how do I chant? Oh, just hear. No. Just pronounce. No. That's only half of it. The other half is, how do you do it? What's the mood, right? So, here's a typical scenario. And when I do a japa workshop, I'll be talking. Prabhuji, I have a question. How long should it take to chant? I'm like, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, 6 minutes, 8.5, 5.5. No, Prabhuji, I need to know exactly. Exactly, to the second I must know how long it should take. Prabhuji, can I stand or Do I have to sit? Can I walk? Must I face east? So I'm looking at this, and it keeps happening, especially in South India. I'm like, oh, I'm starting to understand. You were raised in a religion that put all the emphasis on the ritual. And so japa is a prayer, Krishna, please engage me in your service. And you're focused on the externals. How long should it take? How should I sit? What time of day? Is it okay if I chant after 7? You know, what about the evening if I have to finish my rounds? Like all these external questions. And no questions about the internal mood, as if something's wrong. Does that make sense to you? So this is therefore the main thing in our japa workshops, the main thing that I found that had the most transformative effect on the devotees was to focus on the mood, and just because when you focus on the mood, you don't have to worry about your mind, because once you're in the mood, your mind just goes away, and the mood takes over. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. So, what we're going to do today is talk about the mood, the consciousness, the bhav, what's in the heart. And first, we want to establish, as you probably know, the Maha Mantra, and as I said, is a prayer. O Radha, O Krishna, Hare, O Radha, Hare Krishna, O Radha, O Krishna. It's a prayer. As Prabhupada says, vocative means, oh, so you're asking something. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. It's a prayer to Krishna. What is the prayer? Well, the prayer, there are many meanings to the holy name. And every meaning that I've ever read by the acharyas, they give meanings, it's all an emotion that they're putting into their chanting. Oh Radha, oh Krishna, what? Oh Radha, oh Krishna, what? Please, blank. There's something, there's a petition, because that's what prayer is, right? Oh Krishna, please help me, please bless me, this and that. So, the other day, well, we're having a retreat in Govardhan, and so I recorded little 3-minute meditations that we were going to play every morning before we chant japa. And one of the meditations from one of the acharyas is, Krishna, please bring my heart to you, closer to you. So I thought, well, that's such a beautiful meditation. I love that. So spontaneously, I was recording this meditation, and I was realizing, when you say, please bring my heart closer to yours, it means I want whatever you want to be what I want. Hare Krishna. Make your desire, make my desire your desire. Make what you want what I want. That's nice, isn't it? Oh Radha, oh Krishna, please help me want what you want and not want anything independently what you want. Please help me only be happy when you're happy. Please help me so I can't be happy independently with that prayer, right? So I thought, wow. And so I was spontaneous. I was just, explaining it. And the next few days when I was chanting, I was thinking, wow, Mahatma, that was a good one. So I was meditating. I said, that's quite powerful. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, make your desire my desire, make my desire your desire. Hare Krishna. Well, because what's the problem? The problem is independently we desire things that will not have anything to do with Krishna. It has to do with what we like. And in case you don't know, that's why you have a material body, because in the last life, well, not you, all of us, in the last life, our desires were not unified enough with Krishna's, that Krishna said, okay, you still want things of this world, okay, here's the body, go for it. Do it again. 10 zillion times, this is 10 zillion and one, go for it, try to be happy. So therefore, when we become devotees and we learn that we are servants of Krishna, and that's what will make us happy, we are in a predicament, right? Because, oh yeah, this is what I want, this is what I need, but by conditioned nature, I go the other way. It's like if you're left-handed and you come to India, so if you eat left-handed in America, it's like no problem. But if you come to India, you eat left-handed, you're like, so you might have to eat with your right hand. So you've been eating with your left hand your whole life, and you try to eat with your right hand. What's going to happen inevitably? You're just going to forget and eat with your left hand, right? Because you've done it so much. So we have done turning our back on Krishna so much, it's natural, isn't it? It's just like so easy to just be independent. I want this, I want this, I want that. You come to bhakti and you understand, no, that's not your nature and that's wrong. So when you chant, you should be praying to fix that. Krishna, help me desire what you desire. Make my heart one with your heart. Whatever you want, whatever my guru wants, make that what I want. Hare Krishna, Hare. We're praying for that. Why are we praying for that? Because we're in the opposite frame of mind. We don't think like, we don't feel that way. So, I was chanting like this, because I just made the recording, and I was chanting, and thinking, this is beautiful. I was just very, very absorbed, and specifically absorbed in feeling that, because it's really what we're trying to do. What we're chanting is we're trying to bring the feeling of Krishna, I need you, Krishna, I want purity, I want devotion into the heart, and get it out of the head, because if it's in the head, it's just in the head. That's all. It doesn't mean anything. Right? You could know everything about everything and do nothing about everything. Yes? All right, I'm going to ask you a question then. How many things do you know that are good for you, that you should do, that you don't do? Get out your calculator. Count it up, yeah. All right, at least one, if not 108. 3,620, yeah. So, knowing, I know how to chant. Like you were saying, I give a class on humility in my mind. I was thinking, yeah, because I'm so humble, I can give a class on humility. No. Like, I know everything about humility. Okay, Prabhu, that's great. Are you humble? I'm proud that I know everything about humility. Prabhu, you give a class on humility. I mean, are you humble? No, but it's a good class. You should take it. It's a really good class. Maybe one of the best classes anyone has ever given in this life. It's my class on humility. So I know everything about humility except one minor detail: how to be humble. Just a little oversight. Just a little. Right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So knowing, someone says, "Can you give a class about the holy name?" And I can quote 3,000 shlokas about the holy name, but that's not really what we want. It's not that we don't want that.